reader, the various letters that are here within contained were never intended for public consumption. They are private letters, written most commonly in the heat of passion, and containing secrets, confessions, thoughts, and feelings that the letter writer would have more happily died than ever had willingly exposed to the public gaze of punishing society. However, now that all of the people involved in these incidents, with the exception of myself, are dead, in prison, or hopelessly insane, I feel no compunction at taking the lot of them, arranging them in their sequence of activity, and presenting them to you, my discerning readership. The event years to gather these letters through various means, including bribery, blackmail, debauchery, and sometimes downright barbarism. From the various hands into which they had fallen. I have changed no names. I have blunted no edges. I only ask that as you read the lives of these poor souls laid bare, you do so and judge them by that honest yardstick of the darkest secrets that you yourself withhold. My dear reader, as I sit here in my cozy study, composing the preface to this volume, I imagine you, some 276 years in the future, perhaps, reading this book, sitting in your cozy study with your stockinged feet resting on your cushioned ottoman in front of your charming fire, your hands clutching the soft brown leather of the binding of the book. So excited are you. Your imagination becomes fevered, so much so that without even opening the book, you can imagine what the people in these pages look like. And so in tune are you with the story that is about to unfold, that I imagine you might even guess which of the 5 people in the forefront of your imagination might have written the first letter. And on the count of 3, I can imagine you shouting out the color of their outfit. 1, 2, 3! Reader, if you are out there in the future wearing a gray t-shirt, I imagine you and you alone shout it out again.
Dark blue.
If you said dark blue, which of course I don't really know. But if you did, you are correct. Or are you correct?
I meant that one.
You are correct. I feel a personal connection with you. You are correct. But, reader, perhaps a different reader, I imagine that you also could guess which of the remaining characters that gentleman is writing to. And on the count of 3, you just might shout it out. 1, 2, 3, Aqua! If you said blue,
Dark blue.
you have chosen to stick with a winner. And yes, you are, in fact, correct. And now, dear reader, I imagine even further. You could imagine that person sitting at his desk, thinking of something greatly important to his life, about which he is writing this letter. And you might call out what that important thing is. 1, 2, 3!
Chocolate.
Dear reader, did you say chocolate?
Yes.
Oh, good. If by chance you said chocolate, you are correct. But of course I don't know because you're in the future. My dear reader, sit back, open the book, and enjoy a series of scandalous letters and dangerous liaisons.
Pierre Chaval to my sister, Claire Chaval. My dearest sister, I write this letter to you in a mood of great joy and anticipation, for it was just 3 nights ago where I met my soon-to-be wife, Marie, at the drawing room. Ah, Marie, we are alone finally.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sir, I've averted my eyes, but I've produced the chocolates that you wished for.
Ah, yes, please. Bring them forward.
Allow me, I have stuff cotton in my ears, and I shall close my eyes, so I shall not inconvenience whatever activities you are currently.
No. It's okay. Come in.
Brief moment, please. Thank you, my good sir.
I cannot hear you.
No, Pierre. We must wait.
Marie, these chocolates, they come from a very special place. A place that you have spoken about, that you wish to visit soon.
Portugal?
Yes. Portuguese chocolates. I shall place the rest here on this table in front of our beautiful fireplace. That as you see a roaring fire.
It will be mine soon, won't it?
It's ours, of course.
And mine as well.
Yes. Take a bite.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. My precious.
Yeah, no, we must wait. Our
I-
wedding is only 3 weeks away.
I cannot wait. I've been waiting my entire life, my entire 27 years to have a beautiful angel such as yourself.
3 weeks. 3 weeks, and I shall be lady of this house, of this maison, of this chateau. 3 weeks, and we shall know each other more intimately.
May I? But I wish to know you intimately now. Yes, madame, we have chocolates from Portugal.
Portuguese chocolates.
Yes.
We only allow Swiss chocolates in this household.
Well,
I plan on bringing many new things into this household when I do join this family.
yes, of course. Would you care for one, Mama?
I prefer Swiss chocolate.
Well, give it a try.
Yes, try.
They contain a special liqueur.
The cook. Look, I have come here to deliver some news. I know your beautiful wedding is planned for 3 weeks, but unfortunately there is a little bit of a delay.
A delay?
You see, the rains have disrupted the beautiful garden at your wedding.
Well, then bring it indoors, Mama, please.
No, but I've always wanted a garden wedding.
She's always wanted a garden wedding.
Well, how long would this delay take?
We must ask the gardener, and I am waiting for him to arrive.
Please, sir.
Yes. Have you looked at the garden and let us know when we can have the wedding?
4
Weeks?
3 months.
3 months? This is absurd. Well, Mama, we honestly cannot wait 3 months for this union to take place.
What is the rush?
Yes. Pierre, we must wait.
The rush is I've never experienced certain things, Mama, and I've been 27 years.
And you can wait 3 more months and not keep it in check.
I can see it.
Me, my dear. Wait.
For you,
3 months.
Yes, for you, Marie, anything. I will wait, of course.
I will now go and leave you to that.
I must go too, for I'm afraid if I stay any longer, I will not be able to wait those 3 months. But I must, for I am a lady. I promise.
So you see, Claire, that is the current predicament that I now find myself, and I am writing this letter to you specifically for your assistance. I know that you have great influence over Mama, and perhaps you could use that influence to hasten this marriage. For I must be married to Marie as soon as possible. Sincerely, your loving brother, Pierre.
Mademoiselle Claire Cheval to Monsieur Lapin. My dear Monsieur Lapin, or may I call you Claude? Yes, we have not known each other for many months, but I must tell you about some recent transgressions in the household. You see, my mother has a very discreet interior design taste, and she is battling with my brother about having the front room reorganized for a wedding, which has now been pushed forward. Monsieur, as an interior designer, I ask for your assistance in this matter. I shall share with you some of the more recent issues that have come up as we met most recently to attend a piano recital, my mother, my brother, and I. Oh,
Please.
yes, Mother, please.
Thank you.
Of course.
Sister,
Thank you.
I hear that this pianist is going to be quite renowned. A wonder kid, no less.
Yes, and I must say, Mother, that have you thought about moving the piano slightly for this event?
If you'll excuse me, I am Madame Moulin Rouge. I am here. I am your pianist.
Ah, Madame, please, of course. Assist Madame to the piano, please.
Would it not be better with the piano facing us instead of looking at the rear of the pianist? Oh, lovely. Look, Mother, how he moves the piano.
I would very much prefer to have it here.
Good sir. Can you move it one more time?
I must say, I would like to have a slight word with you without Mother hearing us. I know she's hard of hearing from her left ear. Mother, look! A bird from the window. Brother, I have been working with Mother to work on moving furniture ever so slightly, in the hopes that she will agree to have your wedding here sooner rather than wait for the weather to clear. And look at her progress already.
Claire, I think that she needs more coaxing another way, perhaps. But I do hope that this does work.
Coats? I love coats.
Oh, Mother, yes, we were just speaking of coats, yes. Yes.
Mother, I believe that Claire here wishes to hasten the wedding and to have it occur indoors, for she has a very legitimate reason why.
Yes, why are you so insistent on your brother wedding so soon?
Mother, you must understand that his fiancée, Marie, is my current housemate at the Petit Chateau down the road.
Yes.
And I have grown quite annoyed with her presence. Mother, please have the wedding sooner.
Yes.
Please. And look, have you moved this piano? It has not affected the interior design of this room so much.
Yes.
Yes.
Excuse me, do I understand that the wedding date which I am to perform has been postponed?
Yes.
Well, I don't have time after the date that we scheduled.
Well, Madame Longrouge, you must. We have it all planned out.
Well, I mustn't do anything. Oh, but I shall not play.
Well, without a pianist, the wedding must be postponed.
Mama!
Indefinitely.
No!
Monsieur Lapin, you must realize at this moment, all chaos broke out in the room. My brother had a temper tantrum.
Marie is the most sought-after bachelorette in this whole city. If I did not wed her quickly, I'm afraid that she might be taken by another.
And Monsieur Lapin, if you knew that Marie had terrible housekeeping habits, and I was in a rush to get rid of her, most hastily. Yes, she is the most sought-after woman in this village, and you must wed her quickly.
But I cannot without Mama's approval, without Mama's attention, without Mama.
And with that, he started to push the piano all about the room, Monsieur. And then he went to rearranging vases on the mantle of the fireplace, as if they were small rabbits.
I cannot.
Excuse me, but we have a collapsed gardener. Yes, sir.
Let it be.
And so we let him be.
Claire, I have a wicked idea. But you must promise me that you will not inform anyone else of this.
Well, tell me.
I'm going to take Marie and elope. We will marry in secret. And of course, Mama will never know, and we will put on a fun facade marriage for her. But I must have her hand, and I promise you, I will.
And with that, he walked out of the room, stepped over the dead gardener. And later, the gardener did wake up. But, yes, sir, if you understood the gravity of the situation, how much my mother wished to attend the wedding of her son, and how I very much need your help to help her to agree to rearrange the front chambre to allow for a wedding party to attend. I trust that your interior design skills will be much appreciated. Yours, Claire.
Monsieur Le Pen, to the grieving mother of the groom, who always wears red. And quiet. My dear Madame, you will excuse a letter from one unknown to you, but I am Monsieur Lepin, interior designer to the kings. I have news of which your grieving heart stands in awaitance. Your son, who 3 weeks ago eloped with the fair Marie, has arrived at a desperate state. And yet, my pen anticipates the climax of my tale. I must back up to that day when I had arrived at the house in order to see about the draperies, only to be hiding behind a fabric arras when Marie and your son entered.
Oh, we've done it.
Finally, tonight you shall bed.
But now, will I still be welcome in the chateau?
Of course, the chateau.
It will be rightfully mine, yes?
Yes, of course, it is in my name and in yours.
But first he had to convince her to elope with him.
But you must elope with me. Come with me, Marie. Tonight, this very night, I have a priest ready. I had to pay him quite a lot of money, but...
I don't want to start off on the wrong foot with your mother.
And yet he persuaded her with gallant poetry.
Marie, Mama is not the concern with which you, the beautiful angel, must put upon your own mind. For you see, the milky, flowing gesture of your skin, the way the light glistens from your gaze.
That's true.
The supple redness of thy lips.
How do you know their suppleness?
I can tell.
And you will know tonight, for we shall wed in secret.
They left the chamber. I followed discreetly, holding a panel of fabric in front of me. I followed them all the way to a priest. They chose a secret priest, one who could not be easily traced, because rather than housing in the church, this priest was in the butler's pantry.
Your butler's a priest, yes?
Yes. Allow me to move the flower bags.
Mind me not, I close my eyes, but I need some canned food, so...
Monsieur, Father Eclair, please.
Yes. The wedding was performed in Latin.
Apostros milis equilus socoles, apes por esta papache, elete comagite, ora cosa, la ve. Estisisa porque tre, alle prelas destine, ocute, la zona be, mon triste guste.
Dear madam, would you accuse me of hyperbole if I told you the second verse involved backup dancers?
Amen.
Amen.
I shouldn't have hired a priest. Oh, I shouldn't have hired a priest at the circus, but that's all I could find. Are we man and wife?
Should I do it again?
No!
Yes, you are married.
Fast upon their wedding, they secreted away from the butler's pantry, through the woods. I followed, hiding discreetly behind elm and poplar, until they arrived at the lake, where they boarded a small boat. I hung on to the back and subdued myself beneath the water.
We're all alone.
Yes.
No interior decorators.
No one.
No priests.
This-
No others.
No, not no one. This boat is taking us to... the tea shop. The tea shop where?
In Portugal?
In Portugal, yes.
Yes. I could barely hold my breath all the way to Portugal.
It will be a 30-hour ride.
Too bad that this little boat does not have a bed.
It does.
It does.
Yes.
Oh, I see it folds out.
Oh!
I shall plug my ears and close my eyes.
29 hours later, madame. We arrived at the shores of Portugal. They must have been rowing very, very laboriously, for they could barely catch their breath. They left the boat. I snuck behind them as they wend their way through further woods until at last they arrived at a small, ramshackled cabin, which your son seemed to have some familiarity with.
This is a tea shop?
Yes,
They sell tea in this little Portuguese cabin.
they do.
But it was old and dusty tea.
Please drink after our rather vigorous ride. I would like to make a toast, Melly. To true love. To love that even if I were to lose all of my wealth, all of my belongings, I know that your heart is true only to mine. That you are not marrying me just for my name and stature, but for who I truly am, inside, as I am for you.
Oh,
The weeks wore on, madame. Each day I would arrive at the cabin tea shop and poke my little eye through a peephole in order to watch as day by day the tea ran out.
so
This is the last saucer of tea.
are we ready yet to go back to the chateau and present ourselves as man and wife?
I'm afraid of Mama.
Well, be afraid no longer, because I am the rightful woman of the house now.
And yet day by day they labored in penury in this poor hovel. And slowly the glistening golden web before her eyes began to evaporate. And she saw your son stripped of all gallantry, stripped of all wealth, and peered into his heart. Whether she could love him now, madame, I could not tell.
You know, I would appreciate if you would close the door before you use the restroom at night.
You didn't mind it before. Marie, I must make a confession. Yes, my heart is still beating for you, but I've lost everything. For there's one thing I did not mention. By leaving, I disowned my heir.
You mean you are not the heir to the chateau?
I've chosen you over it. But that's okay, yes? We love each other. We can start anew. I could get more tea and start a tea shop myself, a business, and sell tea, and we can travel the world together.
On what money?
He hesitated. His voice faltered, and he pled for her to forsake money and love him for the flesh and bones that he was.
Have you ever lived poor? Have you ever lived in poverty? It's not nice, let me tell you.
No. But I...
Have you ever tried to get dressed in the morning without a dresser? Do you know how many layers I have?
Strip the layers. You don't have to wear these clothes anymore.
Knock, knock. open the door.
Jean-Paul.
Oh, little Pierre.
John Paul strode in as if he were the monarch of the 7 continents.
Quickly, make yourself scarce, my dear.
Jean-Paul.
Mary, good to see you.
Oh. Enchanté. To the rightful heir.
To what honor do we owe this surprise? Would you care for a cup of water?
No, I don't drink clear liquids. Pierre, I just wish to pay my respects to you. By renouncing yourself, I now become the heir to our chateau, as I've always dreamed.
I congratulate you, Jean-Paul. Now, please, if you may, leave.
I've also used our many monetary assets to purchase this land. So, in fact, I own it now, and I quite feel like evicting you, brother.
Evict you? You've always been quite the jester.
So see to it that your bags are packed. This shall be my Portuguese summer home.
Jean-Paul, there's no need for this. I know that I have not been the best brother, and I've been rather cruel to you.
You have not been a good brother at all to me. You had mother's favor. You were the eldest. You were to take everything, and what was I? Forgotten.
Yes, forgotten.
Thank you, Mary. But now, here I stand to gain everything, and I laugh in your direction.
And, madame, he laughed like a jackal laughs.
I learned that in Egypt.
Jean-Paul, I greatly apologize for my stature, my being the firstborn. It was not my fault, but know this, that my heart is true for Marie, and now that you have all the wealth, you could perhaps help us.
It was then that your golden-haired son cast his wicked eyes on Marie.
Perhaps I could help one of you. We shall see. But I can stand no longer being in this hovel, so I shall take my leave. I bid you adieu.
I can kill you here!
He had a shard of a teacup.
Then do it, brother.
No.
Can you do it? Can you kill your own brother? I myself have longed for death before this moment. Perhaps you would be doing me a kindness. I taste amazing.
Marie!
It was good to see you.
It was a delight.
I'm sorry for that.
How could you do this to me? You lied. You brought me here under false pretenses. I grew up in poverty, and I do not plan on returning. You do not know what I had to do to survive. I'm going to the bathroom, and I'm closing the door.
No!
And she did close the door, madame. Oh, she closed the door. Your son, madame, sank to the ground. And my gentleman's soul prevented me from eavesdropping further. I pray, madame, tend to your family. They are grievously wounded, and I trust you will be large enough to take advice from an unknown interior designer.
Madame Cheval to Celeste. since our family has had your gracious presence. I remember the days when my boys were young, and you were all so close. Pierre and you, I know, shared a bond. I always thought you two would wind up together. The love and the joy that you both had playing in the gardens brought a smile to my face. And you were there for him when his father was ill. I request your presence back at our estate. There has been a disruption, a secret marriage, and the two boys are not getting along. I shall describe the incidents of this past week and hope I do see you soon. I was in the really big part of our house. A very exciting cheese rolling contest. And my boys were arguing as usual.
I've polished all your shoes. I wish to take a break.
I think I shall beat you at cheese rolling once more, brother.
John Paul, has there not been enough dairy today? You know your brother is sensitive to it. Look at him, he's sweating.
I see it in you, Pierre. Each moment you look at me, you wish to strike me.
You made a promise that if I were to be your personal manservant, that you would allow me to move in to my own room here. I think I've done a good enough job, but that I wish to also see Marie.
Fine. But I have a singular final request for you. Do you recall something that you did when we were but babes? I, the age of 5, you 10.
Jean-Paul, please. Now is not the time to bring that up again.
I've done many things. Remind me, brother.
Well, Mother, you seem to not mind, but this particular incident has been hanging in my brain for a long time.
So you see, he recounted the day that I think you remember quite well yourself.
Well, I, being a 5, had a little bit of a crush on Celeste. And Pierre thought that I should gift her an apple. I went up to her with that plump, red, juicy apple. She took it in her hands. She took a bite. And what, say you, Pierre, had you done to the apple?
I filled it with worms.
He filled it with worms immediately between her teeth.
Yes, I know about the worms, Jean-Paul.
She spat and spat until she gave up her lunch all over me.
I do realize, Celeste, that you might get nauseous recounting this incident, but I must tell you this was meaningful as I looked at Pierre's face.
And so, Pierre, I've prepared a meal for you.
Brother, we were both children. It was a mere prank. Big room.
What a fine specimen. Please deliver it.
A leech.
That's what you are.
Poetic. You place this leech upon my cheek? What am I supposed to do with it? Eat it?
It's a message, a metaphor.
That is enough! Take this back. Boys, what would your father think about you right now, arguing?
Mother, you have the ability to right this wrong.
You boys are both grown men, and I request that you handle this like mature men.
Mother, he's done as I asked. As we all know, that the penitence for a prank is a leech on the cheek. He's done so, and thusly he can move in to the servants' quarters. In fact, how about the butler's pantry? Perfect for you.
Marie! Marie, they have allowed me to move back in.
Well, very good.
You see, Celeste, Marie seemed to be eyeing Jean-Paul more than I expected.
What?
And I caught Pierre's eyes drop.
Pierre, do you look now down to where you live in the butler's pantry?
What? I look down upon this ring upon your hand. This is not the ring with which I have given you.
No, I took it to the jeweler's and I added some things to it.
Jean-Paul's face seemed very keen, and my poor Pierre, eyes filled with tears, and the sweat from the dairy was just dripping.
Well, I shall be closer to you, I suppose, as I am living in your sister Claire's room now. Though I can tell you she is not happy to have me as a roommate again.
I did many wrong things. I'm not proud of it. Yes, I eloped, Mama, but does no forgiveness reside upon your heart?
My dear son, I forgive you always. I only want happiness for you boys, but I cannot be your solution. I need you to grow up and handle your business. And with that, Celeste, I request your angelic presence, as I do believe Pierre would be quite happy to see you. Best, Mama Shabbat.
Mademoiselle Celeste to Mademoiselle Claire. My dearest Claire, oh, it has been years since as children we played together. You might find it surprising that I have been spending the past several weeks in your childhood home. I know you do not leave your home much, for you and your brothers are still at odds with one another. But let me clue you into some of the things that have been happening in your home. I arrived and was greeted there by Jean-Paul. He met me in the foyer.
Celeste.
Jean-Paul. He had an evil gleam in his eye.
Sorry. Hello.
You're aware of Marie.
Yes, I've heard quite the news about her. And quite the news about you too, Jean-Paul.
Well, I haven't heard much about you.
Oh. Well, some might say I'm an angel. Some might say I'm a miracle worker. I just say I am Celeste.
Yes, it is I who said both of those, though, the former.
He watched me, his eyes circling like a vulture. It sent chills under my spine. And that is when, my dear Claire, your brother came into the room, aghast.
Hello, husband.
Pierre. Our eyes met. It was like we were children again, in the treehouse, reliving that moment, just staring, for an uncomfortably long amount of time.
Celeste,
Pierre.
it is so lovely to see you again.
I wish you were under better circumstances.
As do I.
Brother, it's unbecoming of you to stare at another woman in front of your wife.
Of course.
Well, I think it's unbecoming of you to stare at another man's wife.
What is this that she speaks?
It is no matter. I can have what I want. And Celeste, for the longest time, it has been you. I know that you have caught my brother's eye since children. The two of you always had dreams of ending up together. But now, my brother is wed, I am the heir to this household, and I beseech you now, wed me.
No, absolutely not. Do you think that I am in need of a husband? Do you think that the only reason I was put on God's green earth is to have a man in my life?
Well, but it would be me.
Women are told that you must have a pretty face, a small waist, and a big dowry. That is not my lot in life.
No, I have seen it is.
I came to beseech you. Get your household in order. I am disgusted, as if I was eating an apple with worms in it again.
Please, I must become the man that I was born to be. And I will not have you insult me nor Celeste
I
anymore.
see what this is.
Yes, it is a challenge. I challenge you, my own brother, to a duel to the death.
Hopefully it's not cheese rolling, because we know who would win at that. Oh! My nose blood. Again, amazing.
You are easy. You bleed easily, brother. Do you accept my challenge?
Indubitably.
Then, in the morning we shall meet. At the tavern.
Claire, things are worse than I thought they were. I fear that in my hopes of fixing this, I have made it much, much worse. Love always,
Well, 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 my dear reader, which way shall the pendulum of love swing in the lot of these people's lives? Where shall Marie's heart end up? Will she discover love for the man who robbed her of her dreams of wealth and glory? Or will some other evil twinkling eye and golden-haired wig attempt to steal her away? And will she fall prey? The answer to all of these questions shall be found at the end of this volume. But now, it is only the end of part 1. At the opposite ends of a dueling field. And as is so often the case in these trying circumstances, a beautiful woman between them. Where will Marie's heart find its way? Shall it scamper across the field? Or shall it find a home? And what home? One bare of gilt and gold, but rich in love? Or one in which the heart is empty, but the wallpaper sublime? Part 2. Monsieur Claude Lepin to Madame Marie. Madame, you will, I trust, forgive the imposition of a letter from one who is a stranger to me. However, as you so wisely chose to absent yourself from the field of battle, which saw the sorry circumstance between your husband and his brother unfold. I have taken it upon myself to write to you and let you understand the happenings. The tavern was bare of customers set aside for this event. It was a surprisingly charming tavern with rococo chairs, a gilded mirror, and a marble fireplace. I dare say I was quite impressed, but that is neither this or that. It is as if the entire town showed up to witness the event.
The duel shall start here.
Your husband entered.
Quickly, quickly, I don't have all day for this death.
Your brother followed.
Are you the only one fighting, or is you fighting yourself? Well, all right. Come together. Have you never been to a duel?
Ah, is his father's favorite pistol? He's quite adept with it.
I'm surprised you came. I thought you might cower. I'm impressed.
Are you done with the chit-chat?
Not quite yet. There's more preamble.
And more preamble there was.
And I thought of this day for many, many years, brother.
Have you?
So it's coming to pass.
Which one of you shall die?
I think the duel will decide that, will it not?
Yes.
Well, then let's step together.
I'm sorry, you have another appointment.
Yes, I do. I have a piano concert to get to. You take 10 paces, turn around, and shoot each other.
Not enough room for 10 paces, madame.
Two paces. Well, there's one.
I didn't hear you say start.
Come back together.
Madame, you must understand it took them 16 tries.
Brother, your wife told me how eager you are.
For what?
Excuse us, please.
It was an innuendo about his sexual habits.
Boys! Must you solve this in this way?
Yes.
I understand your father put in his dying wishes that there would only be one heir.
Well, that will be taken care of right here.
2 large steps.
Others!
Jean-Paul. 1,
No!
2.
No!
They turned.
No.
They aimed. Your husband turned his gun to the sky like a gentleman would. Your brother was pushed. His brother was pushed out of the way, but the gun fired, and your husband fell.
No!
Your guts spill out like worms from an apple.
He had been waiting so long to say that.
You are evil! How could you do this to your own brother? Look at your mother!
And yet, he rose without a trace of guilt upon his chiseled face.
My job is done.
They did not even tip her.
You realize that you did not tip her?
She was awfully rude. Claire, I'm afraid that this is what becomes of men. Brother, now that you lay their bullet in your side, I wish to tell you. Because this one has spurned me and will not have my hand, I will go after another.
I daren't tell you, madame, on whom he set his sight. I believe you know the answer. And so, madame, your poor husband was dragged unceremoniously away. And all that was left on the tavern floor to bespeak the atrocities was a golden button. I ask you, madame, how does it signify a golden button? Is that all in all, or will a simple string tie do as well? A stranger who one day might meet one of you. Farewell.
Marie to Claire. My dear old roommate, and now sister-in-law. I write to tell you of the events that have transpired after the duel. I felt my duty was to visit my husband in his sick bed. And while I was there, I had to spend time with your other brother, Jean-Paul, where he made his intentions clear.
Quite gruesome, is it not?
Quite gruesome. He still coughs. That's not related to the wound. But he does have a cough as well.
Marie, being around all these sick, I have been struck in the heart. Do regale me again about your honeymooning with my brother in Portugal.
You want me to go into the fine details, sir?
Just the ones that you found displeasure in.
Displeasuring or pleasuring? I didn't hear.
Dealer's choice.
Well, at first, I must say it was magical. We explored each other and our love for one another. I thought of our future together, me in this house, secure in wealth, able to buy oranges. Oranges!
They are fabulous.
But as time went on, I found that something was amiss. He was hiding something from me, and I knew it.
And girl, you are from a poor home, I am told. Such a sweet, impoverished young woman, finally finding love in a rich man,
Yes,
only for him to lie to you. How terrible.
very terrible. It was a very terrible thing to do. Yes. My mother found herself in quite the exact same circumstance, in which she married a young man who told her he was very wealthy, and then it turned out he was not. And so there I was, born in a filthy little ramshackle place in Paris. And I did what I had to do, including cutting some throats and picking some pockets. But one day I picked the pocket of a very fine woman who had an invitation to an etiquette school, which I attended. And so I ran out of that life, and I have not talked to my mother or father in 15 years. and I never wish to join that life again. And
You should not.
So do not let me. Please.
You are already wed to my brother. That shouldn't do. He's on his deathbed, and even if he does pull through, I've confined him, of course, to the butler's pantry. It's ill-fitting for you, miss. You've crawled so high into society. You should have a man by your side that recognizes that.
Indeed I shall.
Divorce my brother, and that you will see.
And so I took my leave. My dearest old roommate, I do not know what to do. Divorce my husband and secure my place in your family as the woman of the house, as I originally intended to do? Or shall I stay true to my original heart, because I did love Pierre so? I'd love your advice. Your friend, Marie.
Mademoiselle Claire, to my brother, Pierre. Dearest brother, closest brother of mine, most favored brother, I do hope this letter will find you well, and that your chronic wound and illnesses are getting better. Dear brother, I'm writing to let you know that you must act on your own behalf, regardless of your pain and suffering, for your beloved wife is on the precipice of making the most horrible decision. I must tell you about a recent series of events which took place, well, again, at the cheese rolling contest. Jean-Paul was attempting to show off his cheese rolling skills in an attempt to woo your own wife.
$270
No! 275.
275 points!
Will there not be another contestant, or will you just keep winning points?
The rules of the game are clear.
Who would challenge me, sister? You?
Well, perhaps I shall, as it has only been a boy's sport until now.
Only a boy knows how to handle cheese.
Is that what you think?
Yes, that's why I said it.
Perhaps we need to hear a story. Your sister, myself, and my dear friend Marie were once champion cheese rollers. You see, we spent time, Marie, did we not, after your education in etiquette, learning some of the finer aspects of Gouda in Holland. It was a vacation the two of us took, 2 women alone in Holland. What could go wrong? Well, of course, I took the opportunity to go to the Gouda Cafe. And there, I was introduced to Gouda in its primal form. That
And did we not watch them churn the milk into hard Gouda?
You did?
And there, yes, may I have a roll of Gouda, please?
Got milk.
Please hold my fan, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, and there we learned the sport of cheese rolling, not with some mere Swiss cheese full of air holes. No, brother, that like you roll. Dense, hard, heavy Gouda. Now watch and learn.
185 points.
Thank you very much. May I have my fan, please? I must...
This shall not stand.
And you should see, brother, he took to a fuming fury as he grabbed the largest roll there was.
Bring me the big one.
Brother, the one that has been aging for 60 years.
No sibling of mine will best me.
Oh, Oda.
Be careful, Pierre. I'm not sure you have the stature to lift it.
Oh,
Better.
I do. Stature.
And as he collapsed, brother, when he collapsed, the roll of feta dented on one side, causing it to roll irregularly.
This cheese is dented. I cannot roll it, and you're disqualified.
The rules are clear. If the feta rolls, it counts. 2 points.
Marie, are you impressed with my brother's prowess? His athleticism, his cheese skills?
I dare say I'm not.
You're not, Marie? Do you wish to end up like that cheese in the gutter?
I mean, it was very good. So good I can bear it.
Pierre, you should have seen the way she made over him after this. And I write to let you know that as they went off together alone into the cheese room, and who knows what went on there, nothing else but fermentation, I suppose. Nevertheless, my brother, you must pull all of your organs together. Your vitals down. Make your way to Marie's heart. Your sister, Claire.
Pierre, to my dearest friend, Celeste. My dear Celeste, I never imagined that life would bring me to this moment, but it seems as though fate is laughing at me from afar and now from a very close point, because I feel hopeless at times. But Something extraordinary happened to me. Just last night, I was laying on my deathbed when the priest entered. I seemed to have been taking my final breaths. But when I saw his face, he said something to me immediately that changed everything.
You're going to be fine. Yes, I have performed the miracle. You would be happy to know he sewed his own wound.
Oh, you could be a doctor.
Mama. Mama, I'm sorry for all I have done, all the lies I have told, all the deception, and how I've tormented my little brother. I was just jealous because he was so much cuter than I was.
Yes. But, my dear son, you are well again. There could be a new day.
Well enough. But priest, please come.
Yes, my child.
I must make a confession.
Yes, of course. Go on, child.
I lied. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I have told many lies. I have tormented my brother, and I've done this all out of envy and jealousy and lust. I've been a very lustful man, a childish man, and I wish to repent.
My son, the Lord looks down upon us with empathy. He knows that all of our natural urges are also a part of him. And thus his judgment is always redeemable, my child. Now, can you redeem yourself through the bonds of love?
Yes.
Brotherly love. The other kind of love, my child.
Yes, Father. Mother, I can and I shall, if Marie would accept me again.
She's your wife. She, of course, will accept you.
I heard murmurings of a divorce.
What?
It's a new service I'm trying out.
Can we not find another way?
No, Celeste, I knew that I was given a second chance by the Lord, and I would not squander this moment. No, Mama. I must rise and be the man that I should have always been. Thank you, Father.
Of course, Madame, might I ask for 2 pantries so we might each have one?
Sure.
Thank you.
And as I put ink to paper these final words, I share this with you, Celeste, because you are the only person in this whole world that I know still cares about me in a way that no one else would, since we have been friends ever since we were little children. And having you by my side will give me the strength to be the man, brother, son, and friend that I should have always been. Your dearest friend, Pierre.
Mademoiselle Celeste to Mademoiselle Claire. My dear friend, I know that you have shut yourself into your house, wary of going near your family's estate for all the shenanigans that have been occurring. I find myself thinking and hoping that there is a clear resolution. The other day, while I brother, Jean-Paul. He was there, hoping to purchase a new carriage, looking at the golden ones, the bronze ones, the wooden ones with disgust. I came up behind him.
Oh,
It was as he could feel my presence.
I smell something delectable. Celeste,
Jean-Paul.
you shouldn't have.
I didn't expect to see you here, but here we are.
Did you? Perhaps you came here straight away, followed me because you truly are in love with me. Admit it.
I will not admit it. What I am is sad. For the adorable and the cutest child I've ever seen grow up to be this monster. Do you remember when we were children and we'd make mud pies in the fields? He would always try to trick Pierre into eating them, but he was too smart.
He made me eat several of them. My teeth, they were brown. It was disgusting. I had to brush off all the brown to reveal my sterling yellow.
And do you remember how you used to sing songs and play games? And we'd cheer you on as you happily danced?
Yes, I remember such things, but that's child's play. Now I'm a man. I must purchase a carriage. Why do you remind me of these things?
Because I want to pull out the true you. I know you're there. It saddens me to see your family distraught. You and Pierre are like my own brothers. I do not have any siblings. My mother and father have passed away. And my only hope is for your family to reunite again.
Celeste, join me here in this gilded model that I've been perusing.
Quite lovely.
I will tell you of what happened to that sweet little boy you spoke of. You see, that little tender, plucky child I was, he was in love. And his elder brother fed lies into his ear, telling him that the woman that he pined for felt the same way. Little did that boy know, that boy being me, is that his brother was simply telling him these things so that he could fall on his face in front of you. For years, I pined after you. I made my advances and you spurned me, and it calcified my heart. And so you see, I blame you for the way I am. And there's no way for me to break this until I see that love for you. Do you have that love? Will you shatter it?
You cannot blame me for how you turned out.
But I do.
Jean-Paul, we were children. We played in the mud. We played pretend. This is not about love. You don't feel accepted. You're trying to find your place, and you're projecting this on me.
I don't care for what you're saying, so I shall not acknowledge it.
Monsieur, Madame, Mademoiselle, the divorce is finalized.
Excellent. You've studied jackals as well. Well, Celeste, it appears that your feeble attempt to turn me to your righteous side has failed. I've caused my brother to have his wife divorced of him, and soon she shall be in my hand, where you could have been. Now I have several papers to sign. Tons. It's excruciating. Bye-bye.
So there I was, speechless, standing in the middle of this carriage shop, full of disgust, full of rage, and full of disappointment. much worse. Love always, the best.
Mademoiselle Claire to former Madame Cheval, my dearest friend, Marie. Dear friend, I have cloistered myself in the petite maison down the road to try and avoid all of the ugly behaviors that I have heard of going on in the large house. Friend, I look back on those years that we spent traveling, two women, traveling about and having fun, living our lives, and I wished for those days again. And I do not know the woman that I see now before me. She is not Marie. I miss her. And do you know that even though I have a very large dowry, I wished never to be married. If you ever decide that this married life is not for you, whichever brother you end up with, please know that the petite maison has a room for you. But I am writing to you to plead for you to think thoroughly through your next decision. And I must tell you about the most recent interactions that I witnessed between my brothers. There we were, at the grape stomping. Oh, if I must.
Come join us. It's our favorite activity as a family.
It was our favorite activity before this happened between these two. I cannot do it. I cannot bear to stomp grapes with you, either of you.
Brother, when I see these stomped grapes, I think about what I lost looking at your corpse all blue and smushed in the coffin.
Can we please for once just have a nice family occasion? Your brother is now well and not dying by your hand. And I want some wine.
Jean-Paul! I'm glad to see you because I'm here to apologize. I understand why it is that you have done what you have done, the rage. And I do not blame you for the duel because it was my idea. But I do ask, Jean-Paul, that we put this squabble aside and be a family. And I will be the true brother that you always wanted and needed.
Marie, when I saw him speak those words, I saw him turn from a little boy to a man in front of me. And then I saw the reaction in my other brother.
I'm sorry, Pierre. I know everyone wishes to button this up with a happy little ending. But I have too much hate in me. I wish to see you dead with that duel. And so, I challenge you once more. One final duel to decide.
Oh, goody.
If I win, you'll be dead. If I lose, in that very uncommon circumstance, you can re-inherit all that we have, and perhaps win back the love of your wife, who now tenders me.
Marie, at that moment, the priest who was present, but not wearing his cloak, but then wearing it.
I had it the whole time.
He stepped between the brothers, trying to offer some consolation, but in Latin.
Hortisti in patri hulici deepy, deepy.
Since I do not understand a single word that has been spoken by the Father here, I shall accept your duel.
I tried.
Shall that be done right here?
Yes, On the field of grapes we shall stop.
Well, then gather around. No, please. Do not defile the grapes with your anger.
Oh, my God! This is going to be good wine.
Indeed, it was a good vintage.
Please, Mama,
Brother,
this must happen.
I cannot wait until after this is done. You lie dead, and I shall go bed your ex-wife.
Priest, bring
The
me the
pistols.
dual pistols. Quickly now, I have an engagement.
The duel master must inspect those pistols. Does she not?
They're good enough. Let's just get to it. Back to back, back to back.
We will take 3 steps.
No, just make it one. Good enough.
1 large step.
Start!
And there he stood, open armed, Marie, as if he was waiting for you to come and embrace him.
What are you doing? Why are you making this easy on me, brother?
I no longer wish to be filled with hate and fear.
Well, I'm not needed here.
Somebody
If this
please.
will bring happiness to you, brother, then by all means. Aim true. I do not want to sow myself again.
I'm going to kill you, Pierre!
And then in slow motion, Marie, that priest and Celeste very slowly moved into action. It happened as if it were in half time. Oh dear, what you've done! Oh.
Celeste!
Marie, she lay there, blood flowing like the Seine from her chest, an open wound created by my own brother, the man that you might marry. They carried her off to the doctor. Marie, the wine was ruined. But there shall be another year of that. But please, Marie, do think about your decision. Your dearest friend, Claire. Mademoiselle Marie, to Monsieur Lapin. Monsieur Lapin, although it seems that you know all that happens in this small town, although no one has ever seen your face, I have no way of knowing if you already know what transpired yesterday. Do you? I don't know.
I shall never tell.
It was the day of the wedding. I sat in the room, getting ready. My ex-sister-in-law, soon-to-be sister-in-law again, was there with me. And my ex-mother-in-law, once again, to be my new mother-in-law, new, was there. Oh, you look beautiful. Thank you. And how are you feeling? Nervous? That is normal, my dear. You know I love so being in this family. And yet, the image of Pierre, of Jean-Paul shooting a woman is just still in my brain.
Ours as well.
Is she okay?
She will recover.
You will never guess who helped with her recovery.
Who?
Pierre.
Oh, what did he look like when he was helping her?
Well,
What was he wearing?
he was wearing a beautiful chemise,
Oh,
bordered with gold brocade.
oh,
And he's been quite muscular since working in the garden.
He has, he has taken to taking off his chemise while he works in the garden and plows the soil with such virility. Is that a word, virility?
He's really found his masculine energy.
Monsieur Lapin, at that moment, Pierre burst into the room.
Oh, look, fresh from the garden.
You can't see me in my wedding dress.
I'm only here for this bucket of water.
Don't you wish to say anything to me?
You look ravishing.
It reminds me of the night that we wed. Do you remember?
Of course I do. How could I forget? But nonetheless, it is a new night for you to remember. And I feel joy. Celeste will survive and recover. And you, my brother, shall live a happily ever life. And I will be rid of all the hate.
No,
No.
I can't do it. I don't care if you have the money or not.
What are you saying, Marie?
I'm saying I want to go back to Portugal with you. Back to that tea shop in the woods.
But what's about my brother?
I'm so sorry. It never mattered, the money. I realize how miserable my life has been. Even now with the wealth, your brother makes me sad, for he is a pitiful, pitiful, weak man. He can't even lift cheese.
Mama?
Let us change this wedding. We can push the old groom into the lake.
Jean-Paul.
And Jean-Paul entered.
Water boy, I shall be waiting at the edge of the lake for you.
There's still hate in your heart.
Something has transpired in this room, hasn't it?
It has.
I wish to not marry you any further. Priest!
No.
There shall be no need for a wedding today.
Oh. But I thought they were divorced.
Is it because I shot Celeste?
Yes. But not just that. It's because I love your brother.
And I love you. I've always loved you. And I know, I do not blame you for what happened, for what you had to go through. I know your life has been hard, and I was not easy to be with for all the lies and fighting. But I promise you this, Marie. I will be the man that you deserve.
Pierre, I have something for you. It's a key. I had that tea shop demolished, and I built a beautiful house in its place. I was going to use it for my summers, but I've instead decided, because I've shot the love of my life, that I'm going to go off and become a monk. So I'm in not. I beg you good pardon.
Good pardon, brother.
And so he left. And we eloped again. And I write you now, good priest, Portugal. I wonder what you will do with this letter after I am gone. Perhaps you will make a book. You seem to know so much. Not really your friend, Marie.
And so, dear reader, the two were wed, and all who deserved happiness found it, but only for a short while. For only weeks after their wedding, a terrible plague ravaged the land, and every one of them died. Honestly, I didn't care, because I didn't really know any of them. But I did collect these letters to bound together and offer to you, my dear readers, so that you too may learn the lesson of love, and which way it is tempted, and which way it need go. The end. Director of Synergy Theater. We have one more surprise for you tonight. It's a wig! Right? My friends, thank you for being here. If you had fun, please come back. We have a whole other weekend of the show. Next weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Please come back. Please tell your friends. Your word of mouth is our greatest form of advertising, and we appreciate you spreading the word for us. We have some postcards on the table. Take them. Give them out to your friends. Say it's a gift. What do you care? Also, we are a nonprofit organization, and we depend very heavily on the generosity of our patrons. That's you. You're our patrons. If you have a couple of extra bucks and you don't mind donating it to us, then please throw it in the big plastic box on your way out. We'd appreciate that. If you'd like us to be even happier with you, that's a terrible way to phrase that, but if you have a whole bunch of money and you want to write us a big check, we have some envelopes out there. Write us a check, put it in the mail. Once again, we would sincerely appreciate that very much. In addition to doing these shows, we also teach classes. If you've never performed improv before, but you think it might be fun, you're right, it's a ton of fun. And I teach beginning improv classes right here in Walnut Creek at the community center, so you can go online, look it up. Come and take a class. The next one starts over the summer. We'd love to see you there. Also, our next show is in July, and that is Spontaneous Soap, a full-length play in the style of a classic soap opera. We'll do 8 shows of it, and they'll actually go episodically like soap operas do. So come on back in July and see us again. Also, Synergy Theater has a podcast, and that podcast is produced and hosted by an awesome person named Sarah Wilson. With the unparalleled assistance of Val George. Where's Val George? She's out there somewhere. Val George! So check it out wherever you find your podcast. It's called Improv in Practice with Synergy Theater. I think you will like it a great deal. My friends, if you have someone in the cast and you want to say hello to them, give us about 10 minutes to get out of costume. We'll meet you by the stage door. Thank you so very, very much for being here. We love you. Good night.
thank you.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Just the fact that we weren't able to take the test until later, it's kind of nice to have them to be able to.
Isn't
the
it?
whole show. That's awesome.
It is. Yeah. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yes. We'll see you at the soap opera show.
We'll be there.
We can't miss Ken's shows.
Oh, never. We're in love with that.
Me too. Thank you. Thanks for coming.